technology and instruments are two different titles that are given to objects that are built with a purpose, but really isn't the true purpose of something how history details how it has been used.
This turntable is so old, but it's still in every single club all over the world. It's still such a relevant object. It's such a fragile state. It's like this one little teeny tiny pinpoint that's like oscillating on this spiral in this machine. It's like, and if you just hit it, you know, it's like, how could you not expect me to mess with that?
The limitations of the motor-adjusted brakes, the associated player patents and exclusive playbacks, the pop mixes and advanced intervention, 78s without a focus, the diaphragm samples and art from the outside, industry like it never sounded.
You have your tone arm with your stylus that reads the vinyl. You've got your pitch control, which is the speed of the song that's playing. You've got 33 and 45. You've got a power button. That's kind of it, really, and the rest of it's just creativity. What you can do with that boundary. What you can do with...
Kool Herc was the pioneer. He took his DJ culture from Jamaica and brought it to party environment in a small venue in South Bronx.
These were experimental approaches with equipment that were not designed for it. They were taking techniques that were outside of the means of the tool and were experimenting.
We've seen it on both sides, the hip-hop and the experimental new art of turntablism, from Otomo Yoshihide to the scratch perverts, invisible scratch pickles, like that way of modifying a turntable to get something different.
The shellac visionaries and the fundamental Theodore, the experimentation events and the hand-cranked fusion, interwoven slow hands and the celebrity rhythms, painting widespread landscapes and scientific standards. Cage and DXT manipulating long imaginary discs. Q and Mike, Schaefer and Flash, glorious grandmasters of invention, altering intrigue and record-driven creation. Curious years of byproduct, speed percussions and professional signatures.
No, 1991, and I saw Cuba and DJ David do some crazy stuff with records, and I just went upstairs. I had a little record player on top of my MIDI hi-fi, and I just proceeded to wreck my mum's records, really. To me, before that, you just played a record and you had to be careful with the record. I was just sold straight away.
I got into hip-hop around about 1989. DJing within hip-hop was a big part of the culture at that point in time. There was a certain few key records with scratching on that just bowled me over, and I wanted to learn how to do that.
I do remember my first record skip where I watched a needle bounce and jump. The scratch in it was just deep enough, it actually popped the needle out. And I was just like, wait, can I do that again? And then as I was like still trying to like hint at it, like, look at what this does, it would just create so much anger. They were just like, you have to stop doing that. What you're doing is wrong. This is wrong.
I had a lot of resistance at home because I played the piano and I played classical piano and got all my grades. I had a mate at school who was learning how to beat match. So I had to go at the beat matching, but it was when I saw DJ David and the DMCs. I think part of it was the showmanship, the sort of the performative value that wasn't just playing a record and standing back. My mum and dad were just like, you've had 10 years of piano lessons, you must be joking.
The original starting points of it were just backspinning 2 records, extending the drum break section, effectively make a loop prior to samplers being invented.
The imagined era of technique and performance, alive on the tens. The vinyl gang and the market record drums. The low-key arrival of possibility. The switching innovation and the streetlight accreditation. The energy founders and unimaginable phrasing never overlooked by the audience.
Dirt Style Records, which is Cuba and them lot, Third Rumble, they came out with these records that were just made for battling.
Babu, so Super Duck breaks, Bionic Booger breaks, all these break records made basically life a lot easier, and they really nailed it. They took it to a real art form.
A DJ battle traditionally would have been a 6-minute routine in the DMC format. It was basically like a head-to-head battle against other turntablists. People spend a year on these routines, man. They want to be the best.
The Disco Mixing Championships, the Vestex Extravaganza, all those DJ battles really helped innovate and push forward a great deal of turntablists on the sort of hip-hop spectrum.
DMC was a huge thing, and these tapes would be distributed between DJs. Prior to that, there's no way you could actually see it unless you were in a venue with one of these DJs.
realize, like, I'm not a musician, I'm a sound artist, and I don't have to record or follow this musicianship outline of studio rehearsal, practicing, because I'm not trying to play back something in a specific way. I'm just trying to work with it in real time.
I have no problem with anyone modifying, breaking, burning, smashing, whether it's a record or the instrument. And there have been some absolutely amazing things that have occurred. What I want to see is why and how and what is it actually like overall.
When I first started, I was putting masking tape and sandpaper and latex paint and melting things and all sorts of stuff. I have a particular way of breaking a record. And when you break it, what you're doing, instead of going into the WAV file and splicing it yourself, the break is doing that for you. It's splicing it for you, so then they're just unintentional samples.
I'd heard about Cuba and Mixmaster Mike. It wasn't until a bit late, it's about 94, that I really started seeing more of those guys. Huge influence still to this day on the culture. The focus was on scratching, created a whole new world, really.
There was 3 of them, and they basically composed music. As in, one of them's being a drummer, one of them's playing a bass, and one of them's playing like a sample noise or a battle noise.
It's become really important to me to collaborate, to consider what the turntable's role is alongside other instruments. I think there's always going to be an underlying thread of proving the turntable is still an instrument, but it can do something that other things just simply cannot do.
The technology's pushed the boundary out again. I guess the boundary now would be use the technology to make yourself a better DJ.
Digital vinyl systems has been a real key point for me, certainly, because I knew I wanted to work with specific sounds that I couldn't find easily pressed on a record.
That's kind of where it's going now, I guess, or where it's gone even.
Not paper theory, improvised music communities, experimental acceptance and unpredictable showcases, spontaneously described. The chance groundwork and conclusive park parties alighting genres, credited patterns and challenged interpretations. Recreation, never the truth.